Known for his lavish lifestyle, by the 90s, Harshad Mehta had risen to such prominence that terms such as the Big Bull, Raging Bull, and Amitabh Bachchan of the stock market were regularly used for him. Harshad Mehta's 1992 securities scam shook the entire country and paved the way to a complete structural change of the financial security system of India. If we look into the numbers, this single man deceived the entire nation with an amount of over rupees 24,000 crores. Yeah, way bigger than Nirav Modi or Vijay Mallya. But who was Harshad Mehta and how did he dupe the entire system? Today, we take a look at how Harshad Mehta was able to fool the entire Dalal street.
Virtually, I can say that nobody has understood exactly what all has happened. And everybody has tried to explain the situation in their own fashion. And so much has come that if I read all the news, then I also will get confused on what exactly has happened.
Our story starts in 1984 when Harshad Mehta completed his journey from a poor child to become a member of the Bombay Stock Exchange as a broker and established his own firm. At that time, RBI had made it compulsory for all the banks to keep a certain minimum level of funds in the form of government bonds or else they would be fined. As happens in the market, it was easier for the strong banks to maintain this threshold than the weaker ones. So they used to borrow them from the stronger banks. They did not use to trade the actual securities but something they called bond receipts. But these transactions were done through brokers. Now where's the thrill? Well, that's where comes our man of the day. Earlier, the role of a broker was only to bring the parties together. In the new market established by Mr. Mehta, the broker was more of a market maker. Both the banks were dealing with the broker and neither knew who the counterparty was. He would ask for a bit of time, you see, to carry out the process from both the borrower and the lender. Then he used this money, which was temporarily in his bank account, to mass buy and hike up the demand for certain shares in the stock market. When the first bank asked about the money for the securities, he just used to approach another bank and repeat the process. In this way, he successfully got checks issued by the banks in his name to be invested in the stocks in order to earn more and more profit. But Mr. Mehta did not stop there. He further planned for the top and some would argue reached it before falling on his knees. With the help of two banks, Bank of Garad and Metropolitan Cooperative Bank, he was able to forge fake bond receipts that were not backed by any securities. Using the BR scam, Mehta took the price of ACC from Rs 200 to Rs 9,000 in a very short period. Harshad's fall came when journalist Sucheta Dalal exposed him on 23rd April 1992 in the columns of Times of India. The chairman of Vijaya Bank immediately committed suicide following the outbreak of the news. The stocks began to fall after the exposure and the market faced a crash so bad that thousands of innocent investors lost their money. And of course, the amount invested by Mehta was lost and he was not able to carry out the transaction between banks which he would previously do. Harshad Mehta was charged with 72 criminal offences and more than 600 criminal action suits. Tough to tell if the media has been fair to him, but Mehta sure had something to say about it.
Could that will help me to be getting one of a noted person in Guinness Book of Record, having the highest tax liability on.
In his interviews, he has not claimed innocence, but that his modus operandi was commonplace in the market, with as many as 80% of the brokers. The RBI also confessed that such practices had come to their notice at least a year back. Further investigations revealed many players like Citibank, Pallav Seth, Aditya Birla, many politicians and even the RBI governor all had played a role in rigging the share market. In September 1999, the Bombay High Court convicted him and sentenced him to 5 years of imprisonment. Mehta died while in criminal custody after suffering from cardiac arrest in Thane prison on 31st December at the age of just 47. Harshad Mehta, the man who succeeded in building a life which got interpreted by many but failed to share his own side of the story.